Wonderful day to you. Thank you for joining me today. I am your host, Lamax Bosara. Today we talk to an entrepreneur who really shifted in a career path to follow a journey that she never thought she would, but she was truly passionate about. She's also in a space that relatively is male-dominated, so we're going to explore just how she managed to find her footing there and to also run a business that's actually doing pretty well. She's running a construction company called Ramtsilo, and her name is Kedibone. Kedibone, thank you for joining me. How are you doing today?
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me.
Incredible. I mean, let's talk about just your journey really at an individual level. You are an auditor by training, but how did you switch over to construction?
Well, yeah, so my background is in audit and finance, and growing up, actually, we grew up in a construction family where my dad had a construction business. So we went to site with him often, and that's where we got exposed to construction, and we would learn how to build from foundation upwards, and everything that he taught us is things that we're applying now in our business. And it's been an incredible jump from finance to the construction, like you said, male-dominated industry.
When you reflect now, on your journey, what do you think has been your source of motivation? I mean, there are so many challenges really in running a business. One ought to really be motivated, but also one must also have an idea of where that source of motivation really comes from.
Look, you're absolutely right. It's very challenging. Most days, it's difficult to even be positive when you wake up. But what keeps us motivated, honestly, is the impact that our business has. So we are social entrepreneurs, and we see the difference in the ordinary lives of South Africans who previously did not have hope. We work quite closely with waste pickers who are in the informal sector of the economy and are playing quite a critical role because their business that they conduct is actually saving millions for municipalities in terms of cleaning up landfills. So when you see the impact that your business has on such people, the elderly, the disabled, you see how much of an impact you're making. It actually motivates you to keep going, and the lives that you change by just waking up and going to work and making sure that things function. You're creating jobs both directly and indirectly. And we never imagined that we would have in excess of 100 people that we're taking care of. And to look at where we are, sometimes it's humbling and it pushes us to keep going, So there is quite a lot that gets us going, and it does get challenging from time to time, but it's definitely worth it.
You mentioned quite a lot there. We'll actually come back to that in a moment, but I just want to find out a little bit about how you've gone about building entrepreneurial confidence, especially, the fact that you're in a construction space that you mentioned that it's male dominated. I just wonder how you've built your confidence to maneuver in the space and to sort of find your footing and be confident, really.
So when we were growing up, we didn't know, my parents, basically, they taught us that we are people before we are gender, So everything that we do as individuals more than doing it as a woman, So for us, we're reminded by the reality, yes, when we are running the business, that we are women at the end of the day, and things that will step away. But training from my dad didn't even intend to train us, but for him, it was just keeping us off the streets, and going into schooling as well, formal schooling. I studied at tax, so I'm a proud tax alumni, and it really teaches you a lot as well. Like my studies were very, very instrumental in who I am right now. And in this space of construction specifically, you need to network, you need to broaden your network as much as you can. So make sure that you attend presentation seminars, you attend industry seminars. I'm part of the Black Business Council that in the built environment. So it's part of the networks that you build, through BRICS as well. We're building networks. And South Africa is actually a great place for networking for business people. It's just putting yourself out there that's important.
Incredible. We guess have one thing in common, that we're both University of Pretoria alumni. I also just wonder from your side, You mentioned a little bit about the green economy, and you're making, you classify yourself as a social entrepreneur as well, and you talk about the contributions you're making to people who are working in that space. Tell us a little bit more about your contributions really in the green economy. What exactly are you doing, and how you sort of finding your footing in doing that?
Look, we collect plastic waste, both post-consumer and post-industrial waste, and we use that as an aggregate to manufacture our bricks. So we are a plastic brick company, and we're proud to say we're South Africa's first plastic brick manufacturer that has a formal plant. Our plant is based in Benoni, and we've got another operation in the Free State. And looking at what we do truly in the green economy is we create a true circular green economy, because we collect waste, every type of waste. So there's different types of plastic, and they're numbered. If you look at any plastic that you consume, or you use to consume whatever you're having, you'll see there's a number on it. So it goes 1 up to 7, and typically 7 cannot be recycled. Those are the problematic plastics, like your sweets, your chip containers, and all of that we're able to recycle in our process without any issue. So we've actually created a truly green circular economy, because we manufacture a product that is also sustainable, that can be in the market for donkey years, however long your building will be built for, without having that plastic go back into the environment.
I like that. I like the sense of innovation. Innovation is key to business success, but also is key to being differentiated, to being distinct from present competitors in the market. So that's pretty impressive. I mean, how did you know that, you could potentially use this waste to really create a plastic brick?
Sure, man, that was difficult. So my sister is very OCD about litter. My sister and co-founder, very, very OCD. So when we started manufacturing, how the manufacturing business started is from the construction business that our dad registered for us in 2013, when he showed so much interest in the business. We then started doing general building work, and one of our biggest consumption product was bricks. So we went into manufacturing of cement, conventional cement bricks, and we did this in the yard. And we're from the township, so you can imagine the small yard, and you're now manufacturing bricks, and you've got plant in the yard, whatever else. And then in 2016, we ran into a waste picker, the ones that you see ordinarily on the streets, and we were talking to her, and she was telling us how plastic is a source of income for her, collecting plastic. And we then started looking at how we can integrate plastic recycling specifically, into what we already know, which is construction and brick making. And that's how we started with the prototyping. Now imagine this, we live in Free State, and I was in Pretoria at the time, and now I have to travel every weekend, every Friday. I knock off at 3:00, go home, and I take off my auditor clothes and I put on my PPE, and for the rest of the weekend, that's my life until Sunday evening when I have to drive back to Pretoria. And this went on and on while we're prototyping, and my sister and siblings and my father as well, were full-time in bringing this dream into reality. And in 2017 is when we had a product we were comfortable with, that we took to taste. You have to taste these products as well for market access and credibility, and also to make sure that this product actually will build a structure, And after that tasting, we had incredible results. I mean, the brick is stronger than your conventional brick. Because of the plastic element, it does not absorb as much water. So you will not see your cracks on your wall for a longer period of time, so requiring less building maintenance. And because of plastic has great insulation properties by its very nature, the buildings are very much energy efficient, So there's other benefits that came with using plastic, aside from the fact that you are taking care of the environment by just consuming the product.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, the fact that you do have the testing, you've gone through the testing, does certify the brick. It does inspire a bit of confidence to a potential buyer. But I mean, sharing the message of, building a house and plastic bricks, somebody would be like, whoa, how is that even possible? But I know that you've obviously had to work hard on getting the brick to sell and to get the sales going. You've been to a few exhibitions. I mean, tell us a little bit about that experience, trying to acquire new clients, customers, so to speak. How's that sort of unfolded for you?
Look, when we started our first one, I think it was in early 2018. This is post the trials and getting some testing done, and we didn't really understand the market of bricks at the time. And we went to one of the biggest construction exhibitions in Africa, and it was hosted here in Nasrec in South Africa. And when we got there, we were groomed. Like, everyone that came, they were like property developers, experts, experts in the industry, and everything that they told us, the first day we left there feeling so small. And when we went back, we looked at what it is that was criticized about our product. And we then went into so much research and development to see how we can improve our product. So fast forward to up until 2020, when exhibitions couldn't happen, when we invited or when we put our hand up to attend exhibitions, we were able to answer quite a lot of questions based on the criticism we received. So putting yourself out there is really important. And these exhibitions, sometimes they're a bit pricey, but the benefit of it is you get you get access to market that you ordinarily wouldn't get, and you get all this criticism that might seem like it's a bit tough at first, but if you can take that and make sure that you instill it in how you improve your business. I mean, one of the things that was raised was my house not going to burn because it's made from a brick, a brick that has plastic. And when we went to do the fire testing and we found out a wide range of testing that we could do, now we're able to show all these results and say, this is how you even address it before it's even raised, So it gave us a lot of confidence, gave us a lot of expertise, but a whole lot of criticism comes with it.
I almost want to say criticism is good, because I look at the finished product of what you've managed to make of all the criticism. It's relatively positive. So well done to you on that. And I know that you've gone through an incubation process. How has business incubation really strengthened your business model?
It has really, I don't know. Sometimes when I talk about it, it's as if I'm exaggerating. I mean, one of the best ones that we went to was the engine pitch and polish through Rice Corp. And the sort of growth that you get during that period. I mean, it started with the competition, and I believe the competition entries are now closed. So I hope all entrepreneurs put their hand up and signed up for it. So you go through that process. The competition itself requires a whole lot of pitching, hence it's called pitch and polish. And they will then criticize again, that constructive criticism, and show you key points and also show you where you're doing well, And going through the incubation, you go from region, which is in province, through all the way to, I believe it was 6 entrepreneurs out of all those people will then come to Joburg for incubation, and then you go for the finals. And I mean, during those days of incubation, it was difficult. I mean, we're there from morning all the way to late in the afternoon, but you're learning how to sell your business. And one of the key things that I learned there was how to understand and position your value proposition. And I think that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs will take for granted, because when you go out there, you're very quick to compare yourself to your competitor or show how better you are, but you don't really understand what your value proposition is, why I must buy from you, So we were able to distinguish exactly, or to identify exactly what our value proposition is. Until today, we pitch and polish everyone we talk to. So whether we're talking to investors, to customers, to potential partners, because we've got a lot of strategic partnerships in the industry, when we talk to everyone, we're pitching and we take in from all the lessons that we learned during incubation.
Incredible. Value proposition is important, and also I guess it's important to be able to communicate it clearly and really concisely as well, because investors only have little but no time to listen to you. Also wondering, from your experience now, I mean, you've really gone from ideation all the way to growth, from your perspective. Wondering, how have you, when you reconcile your experience and your journey, what is your advice to somebody who would love to be an entrepreneur, but they're not there yet?
Well, firstly, I'd say make sure you understand what it is that you want to talk to. They're very grounded. So we've got a wide network of people that we've built around us who are entrepreneurs. And one thing that you look at when you talk to the successful entrepreneurs is they're very much grounded. They know what they're doing and why they're doing it. So a lot of us as entrepreneurs want to be all over the place. You want to do this, and now there's COVID, you're doing masks and you're doing this, and you often move away from your core and whatever it is you could have specialized and you could have perfected, that by the time whatever market opens up, you're definitely ready for it. There's a lot of benefit in remaining grounded to what it is that you're doing and perfect it as much as possible. There's nothing wrong with multiple streams of income, but it's important that you understand where your entrepreneurial ground is, because there's a lot that can lead you into different directions, and you end up not even having one definite source of income, so we have to move away from the survivalist entrepreneurship. And it's very important, because when we started our business, we started looking for women-owned manufacturers, formal manufacturers of bricks, in the mainstream economy. And when we didn't find it, we then took it upon ourselves to say, we want to enter this mainstream economy because we see how much money we spend on it, but also how much benefit there is. And I believe all entrepreneurs can benefit from that. Understand the industry that you're in, make sure that you become sort of like an expert, if I can call it that. I know you can never be an expert, but make sure that you ground yourself so much in that industry that when you do go after the other multiple streams of income, you have one solid business that is building generational growth.
Oh, incredible. I do agree with that. And my final question to you is, where do you see the business going in the next 5 years?
So we used to say that we want to build the tallest building in Africa, and we recently learned that we were dreaming small. The world is so big. Just yesterday I was speaking to somebody who's in Europe who's interested in our technology, and you get to realize that the world is so connected, that there is so much potential for growth in our business model, that right now in 5 years, I see this business solidified as an industrialist, but also having presence in greater Africa space, using our BRICS network, using our SADC, our free trade agreements. There's so many instruments that we need to leverage off of, that we are sitting and thinking, if I can just have a little bit of this, So for me, in 5 years' time, it's rolling out our franchise model for the business and making sure that we are in every single area where there's opportunity for growth, because they will never stop building buildings. The more we have people, the more structures we need, and we need to make sure that a lot more people infiltrate that space.
Kedibone, thank you for chatting to me today. I really do appreciate it, and certainly wish you well for the journey ahead.
Thank you so much for having me. Really, really happy, and yay, tax.
Incredible. That's the co-founder of Ramtsilo Construction, a company doing so well in bringing innovation that not only solves people's problems, but also certainly does address some of the pressing issues in the country in South Africa. They're looking to expand beyond the borders of South Africa. So wish them well on their journey. Thank you for watching.